Hi, Journeyers. I'm Tony Carnes, your host for A Journey Through NYC Religions Television. I imagine all of you have seen the models on the runway, the models on television, the models on the movies, and you've compared yourself to them and wondered what their lives are like. Do they have any insecurities? Do they have any troubles? Do they have a spiritual life? Well, we have somebody today that can tell us a little bit about all of those questions. Noelle, who is the founder and CEO of True Model Management. Welcome to the program, Noelle.
Thank you for having me.
Dale. And we have, I heard that you helped some others to hold a Easter service in Central Park is last spring in 2025.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. The Sunrise Easter service, that's S-O-N-Rise service. It was started by friends at Redeemer Church about 40 years ago. My friend Kate took over this wonderful ceremony and did it for about 30 years. She led it, and then it turns out COVID hit and no more service. So I had called up and asked if I could take it over. So we basically resurrected the sunrise service on the lake in Central Park. It's surreal.
Now you invited a lot of your model friends to come to the service also.
I did.
How did, that is a really significant time, that holding renewal of a sunrise service in Central Park after COVID, that must have had a really interesting impact on you.
It was transformational for me. I had been a Christian all my life, but through the years, my faith would dissipate. I'd come back to the churches and to the Lord. But I feel that putting together that Easter service and making it known that I was organizing and that I was a Christian, it brought many people into my life. They were wonderful people. I couldn't have done it without the help of James Leonard and friends from Redeemer and Young Life. So it was.
Now, did it have impact on other of your friends who were models that came? Did you hear feedback from them that this was something important in their life?
Yes, I heard feedback from friends, models, even my husband. They really were enlightened and felt the magic and the love of this service. It's, if you can imagine, hopefully everyone could come next year, but it's when the sun is rising, the lake is calm, the birds are flying down and skidding across the water. It's like silent until we had musicians playing, we had beautiful singers, we had testimony, scripture reading from all ages. We had a wonderful child who read, and then some more mature, and everyone in between. It was families, it was models, and I had no idea that some of these models were Christians, and they expressed so much joy and gratitude that I felt really honored.
So it's an event that you remember with joy and gratitude, and that sort of carries forward with you.
Oh, absolutely, and I feel that everyone who left there felt it and spread the word, and people stopped by to see what was going on, joggers and people riding their bike, like, what is this?
Well, I'm curious, how did you get there are you from New York originally?
Right outside. I grew up in Fort Lee, New Jersey, so it's the bridge that connects New York City.
So you just came
New
over.
Jersey.
When did you come over? You came over to New Jersey, of course, as a kid, you would come over all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Your father had business in New York.
He did. Actually, he had a factory on this block. So he used to manufacture women's clothing. And as a child getting to New York, either my parents would drive me in, or we used to walk across the bridge, take the A train. As kids, the A train was our train.
Now, did he, in his, I don't know if a manufacturer would use models. Did he use models? Or?
He did, actually.
Yeah?
He worked with fit models and print models and showroom models.
Right. And did you ever think, oh, that's what I want to do? Or you just as a kid, you just sort of took it in?
I never thought about being a model as a kid. I thought about being a designer as a kid, a doctor, many other things, but never a model. As I got older, I admired their work and never thought I could be one, but I thought it was interesting. But you turned to modeling. Yes, it just happened, an opportunity organically. I wasn't seeking it. I was mistaken as a model multiple times while I was selling at trade shows. And
that gave the idea.
Yeah, that kind of planted the seed. A designer was very persistent to try and get me to model.
Now, I wonder how your faith journey intertwined with your model journey. You grew up in the faith or no?
I grew up in a Christian home, a mixed Christian home. My father and his side of the family was all Catholic, and I went to a Catholic school from kindergarten to 7th grade, while at the same time I was going to church and really in-depth studying of the Bible, and was a born-again Christian going to a Baptist church. So
did I stay with you when you started modeling?
I would say while I was modeling, my faith took a back seat for a while. Through the busyness and travel and money and different things that would take me away from my faith. I was always still in me, but it got a little suppressed, I would say.
And you faced some big challenges along the way too, and that sort of had an unhinging on some parts of your faith, right?
Yes, definitely. I had many challenges from multiple illnesses and accidents and tragedies and definitely terrible things happening around me as well, that I couldn't understand how God could do this to good people. And there was a tumultuous scandal at one of the churches I was going to, and I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. And
now, I was curious, you know, you founded a True Model Management. And when did you found it?
I started True Model Management. I was unexpectedly pregnant and diagnosed with cancer at the same time. I was modeling, and then that abruptly came to a halt. I was quite the jet-setting model at the time, and overnight all that was gone. And I moved forward and started True Model Management because for the almost 20 years that I had been modeling, I was always the connector that was finding models, training them, basically all the things I do now in my job. I was doing it on a friendly basis and not getting paid for it. I found a lot of work.
But there's sort of two things going on here. One is your professional life is moving forward, but your personal life and your spiritual life is sort of wobbling back and forth.
Yes,
but still you're doing both at the same time.
Yes.
That must have been like pulling you 2 different ways. 3 different ways.
Yes, I definitely felt like I was pulled in many directions. I'm definitely a multitasker and take on a lot of projects. But the most important things I think I was failing at. And it really wasn't until I feel like God started putting people into my life or opening up to show me that people that were already in my life were Christians I didn't even know, and I started doing public type of events and telling people what I was doing, that I really started looking inward more.
And your life started to change at that point, inwardly? Yeah,
I would say even within the last 5 years, COVID, being home more with my family. I have a daughter and a husband, and my husband's Jewish, and my daughter is not really an established Christian yet, and I feel that I didn't do enough to teach her, and I think that had part to do with working on strengthening my faith and bringing it more into my everyday life so I can be an example.
Now, I know I'm going to ask 2 tracks here because on one you still have the agency, and you based that on certain principles that grew out of your life, perhaps your life as a Christian, certainly, but at the same time, a couple years ago, you come back much stronger spiritually. So take me through the principles of True Model Management And what's happened since your faith has grown stronger? What's happened to there?
Yes. So when I started True Model Management, since there wasn't an elaborate business plan, I pretty much I had the idea before, but I jumped into it. It became an extension of my life and my values and my family upbringing. We always had open door policy as far as our home was open to anyone who needed a home or be fed a meal, and we were accepting of all types of people, ethnicities, shapes, sizes. So when I started True, inclusivity and diversity were not buzzword. No one's talking about that, but True got a lot of media attention in the beginning just because we were different and we were known as the nice agency, and they would consider our models, clients would refer to them as role models because we attracted and vetted models who had integrity, they were hardworking, they were honest, and that they were very helpful and caring. And that carried through with our culture and our employees.
Well, and now in the last 5 years, as your life internally, spiritually has changed, have you revisited how you manage your agency?
I revisit it all the time, and we always go back to the basics, and we stick to the same mission and the same principles and values, but we're doing more public and outward work, I would say. I had known about an organization called Models for Christ when I was a model. My mother introduced me to it, but I never had time to go. It wasn't until about 15 or so years ago.
Book me in that for about 10 years from now.
Yes, exactly. So it was a couple of models, like one model after another. It would say, "Oh, I'm going to a Models for Christ meeting." I was like, "Oh, my mother told me about that." I'm like, "I have to go." So I went to a few meetings with different models, and I really like the organization. It's been around for about 40 years, and they support the fashion industry, and at minimum, people fly in from all over the world to provide services to New York Fashion Week, and they'll help. They're not, trying to convert people. They do it quietly, but they're there if a model needs a foot massage or anything that, to make them feel better, or just needs someone to talk to. They've, nervous. They're there to console them. And it turns out several years ago, the Models for Christ did not have a place to host their meetings, and I offered True Model Management's office.
I can see why you love the short called True,
True,
which is pretty great,
True's
by the
office.
way.
Yes, and True, the word for the company name was because of honesty, integrity, and that our models were a true representation of the world. And True is also a pattern-making term.
Right. Well, what kind of impact do you think you've had on people through your agency, through your ministry efforts, through Models for Christ, through Sunday, Easter Sunday? What kind of impact do you think you're making?
Well, from what I'm told, that models feel more open to talk to me and others about their faith. They will come to me and to True to try and promote their communities, and we have a model who has a podcast that's all about the Christian faith, and my passion is connecting people for the betterment of the world. So I feel that people feel that it's a safe place and that they don't have to worry about being persecuted for their faith or anything like that.
Well, can you give me an example in the last year or so that you could see how your work in some ways impacted somebody that makes you reflect and say, well, I'm glad that happened?
Yes, there are many instances. I wouldn't say that there are so many that are earth-shattering, but I do get on a regular basis beautiful thank you notes or audio or video messages thanking me for being so supportive and open, and that they've changed some of their actions and they feel less anxious and more confident.
Let me tick off some of the challenges that you find in modeling. Maybe one of the worst ones, of course, is drug addiction. That is either as comes through partying or through trying to deal with pressure. How would you deal with somebody that seems they're just using too much substances that are of abuse?
Well, I would try and find the best professional for them to talk to, because I'm really not trained in that. We do have a social worker on staff at True, but when it's something serious as that, I would try to, if it's that serious and there's we have our emergency contact, I might have to alert someone, but I would want the professionals to handle that. If it's something that they just, they're using some drugs and they want someone to talk to, or, they want to be introduced to a pastor or have a support group, I would help connect them. But luckily, we haven't had too much experience with that, but I would definitely want to help them get help.
Do models become anxious as they age?
That I feel the most anxious ones are the young ones. They walk in, the anxiety is like the biggest, the most common word I hear when they walk in the door. Everyone's anxious.
And how do you help them through that?
That is a big one for me. I do many motivational speaking engagements and workshops on confidence building and being your authentic self and overcoming obstacles and resilience, a lot on resilience. So we work through all different types of programs and strategies to help them ease their pains and to minimize anxiety. We also offer types of classes that are hosted by models. We have breathwork classes, yoga classes, meditation classes. So whatever resonates with the model, a dance class if that helps them relax, because I find that the models who are healthy on the inside glow on the outside, and it also feeds their soul doing good works.
Do the clients notice that glow from the inside?
The clients absolutely notice that. We get a lot of compliments from our clients and referral business because they appreciate how we screen and vet and guide models and support them. And because most of them, that are interfacing with the clients have built their confidence and are good people.
A lot of just as curiosity on my part, how is the fashion industry doing in New York lately?
The fashion industry, it's tough. It's always been a tough business, and you need to be passionate. You need a passion for fashion to stay in it. Years ago, manufacturing started leaving New York City, so there's some, but not much. The fashion shows are still here, but it's not what it used to be. When there was just the Bryant Park, it's more inclusive, but it's gotten watered down in a way, and it's not a cohesive group. There's still amazing designers and wonderful people in the fashion industry, but it's a little disjointed, and the finances are tough.
Now we've had at the Metropolitan Museum, we have the Costume Institute.
Yeah, incredible.
And they had an exhibit that had a Christian theme. It was called Heavenly Bodies.
Oh.
This was Versace decided to fund and bring together Catholic themed fashion. And they created this big exhibit with it was a mixture of Catholic themes, and there were things from the Vatican Museum, and it was also the designers that were part of it had come up from Catholic churches. So that resonated with where they came from. And that was true with Versace, who her brother she had a spiritual sort of renewal. So they were wanting to do something. Now, unfortunately, he did pass away, but that was the Metropolitan feels that was the largest museum exhibit, audience-wise, in the history of museums.
Wow. Yeah, I think many people are intrigued with religion but are afraid to say it. And just even now, when people started seeing that I'm involved, so many people have come to me and said, oh, let's do this together. Like, I'm Christian. Oh, we're starting a Bible study on November 10th with a bunch of my friends. And yeah, every day it's something new. Like, oh, what project can we work on now together? So.
Oh, so the people are being able to find each other through what you're doing.
Yes, definitely.
Now, you've got to be thinking about you're already thinking about the future, next year and the year after. Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
Well, I see myself deepening my faith and spreading the word more than I ever have before. I feel that I've been blessed. I was given a voice and I use it. And the ironic thing is that I had tongue cancer 3 times and they keep cutting out my mouth and they keep saying I'm not going to talk. And every time I come back, I might sound a little different each time, but it hasn't kept me quiet. And if anything, I'm becoming more vocal. And my biggest fear is like public speaking and being on TV. And I've been getting invited to more and more. So I'm like, okay, it's like overcoming my fears and spreading.
Well, I think you're doing pretty well. I just want to let you talk, and our journeyers, if you don't mind, I'll just let our guest talk, because certainly she can do it better than me. And you certainly got an interesting life. Do you see yourself continuing in the fashion industry and in modeling?
I do. I love the community that we've built with True Model Management, and we have a philanthropic arm to it that's called True Cares. So I would like to build out True Cares more, and that is part charity, part community, everything with health and wellness and spirituality. We take information from and ideas from everyone who wants to be involved, and we support our models in their journeys. So it's always evolving, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm also just started health and wellness leadership retreats. So we're incorporating all the good works that we do at Truth the Models that could be for anybody now. So
well, let me ask you this, and maybe you share with our audience. People are, one, concerned about their bodies, concerned with, are they looking good enough, presenting enough, but they're also concerned that they don't want to be overly concerned with their looks, that it hurts their soul. How do you put the two together, and what would you recommend to our audience, how to think about this and how to grow in both ways?
Okay. Well, I think it's even more than both ways. It's like mind, body, and soul. I feel that when I'm working with models or just talking with friends, the ones who find joy in what they do and are passionate people, and they have worked on their self-confidence and enjoy the journey. I think people are like, oh, it's a goal, I have to weigh this much or be this shape. And if they forget about what they're trying to look like and really work on the inside out, I've found that everyone glows when you're doing good works and helping others, and you really find happiness.
You know, I have so many questions in this area, but we don't have time to do them all.
Okay.
But I'm sure that our audience and I think, well, modeling and fashion, and do you find this in the Bible?
That is a very good question. I really need to research that.
I remember sackcloth and ashes, but...
Okay, I'm going to go home and look. I actually brought my Bible with me. One of our models gave me a Bible. I had told her that, I was struggling with something, and she's like, I have a Bible for you. And I've never read the Bible from cover to cover. And just last night, I put the 52-week plan in the Bible. It's in my bag, so we can look it up.
I suggest you take a look at something I just saw today.
So tell me about it.
Matthew 17, the Transfiguration of Christ.
Okay.
Where the glory of God shines on his face faith shines out, and then his garment becomes really brilliant white. And there audiences. There's 5 people in the audience, at least 5. There's the 3 of the disciples, and then 2 of the prophets who had already were in heaven come and talk to Jesus while he's in the state. And the father then comes in, the final person in the scene, saying, "This is my son." And I'm thinking, wow, that's a fashion statement.
Wow, I love that.
You know, and it's a very busy fashion scene because there's so many characters in it. That's another question I have. A model is in some ways trying to express the experience, the spirit of the clothing, but it's also trying to reduce down it to the essence by the movement and by your presence. How does a model prepare to exhibit a certain style of clothing?
Models work endlessly, tirelessly, working on their movements, learning their angles, preparing how to present clothing so they make it look like it's effortless. And some people, I have to say, they might be a natural and just come in and they move, but most are with coaches and in front of the mirror and videotaping themselves all the time, trying on different garments. They have to work fast too, so it's like they change really fast.
That's right. You're also sort of like a coach to them, coaching them to come out with who they really are into that moment that we call them the show or the appearance.
Yeah, more so now than ever, clients want models to be their authentic self. In the past, it was almost always acting the part of what you're supposed to be to fit in that garment or fit the mood. And that still is part of the job on, certain runway shows or certain shoots where they have to exude this look or this presence, but many of the clients want them to bring themselves and bring something new to the table.
Well, I'm sure our audience is wondering that they feel, well, I'm trying to look good, but I don't want to just be about appearances. I want to also sort of grow my heart at the same time that I'm looking good. Do you have any advice to our audience about that question?
Absolutely. Models could grow and have a voice today. Many models also are influencers, and the platform, it's the perfect stage that you can be yourself and bring your beauty to the world and share it with others. So now it's the perfect time to do that. You can have a voice and talk about your mission and your purpose. I feel that most of the models we work with, that's something we try when we're developing them, to find their purpose and bring that every day to their life and to their work.
Thank you. Dale Noelle from True Model Management. I'm Tony Carnes, your host for A Journey Through NYC Religions Television. Thank you for being with us. See you next time.